5 ingredients, 2.5 hours is all it takes to get this beautiful artisan loaf of bread. You want me to show you how I made it? Grab your apron and let's get to baking. You need 1.5 cups of warm water, about 110 degrees. Guys, listen, if you wouldn't stick your baby in here because it's too hot, your yeast shouldn't go in here either. To this, I added 1 teaspoon of white granulated sugar. I stirred that around for a second. Now I'm gonna go in with 3 teaspoons of instant rapid rise Fleischmann's yeast. I use the bread machine, guys. That's what I use. In that mixing bowl with the water and the sugar, just gonna let that proof for about 5 minutes, guys. I know, you don't have to proof instant yeast, but I wanna make sure this bread rises and that my yeast is in fact not dead. So I do. We're gonna let that proof for no longer than 5 minutes. As soon as you see this start to foam up, you know it's ready. In a bowl here, I have 3 cups of all-purpose unbleached flour. I use King Arthur's. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with 2 teaspoons of table salt. I like to taste the salt in my bread, so I do go a little bit heavy on the salt. A lot of recipes that you'll find won't use that much salt. 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm just gonna go ahead and stir that salt and flour together. Now your yeast mixture should be ready. It's foamy, it's ready. If you overproof your yeast, you're gonna get dense, chewy bread. We don't want that. Let me try to show you what this looks like. I don't know if you can kind of see, it's just looks a little sus, right? A little foamy. I'm just gonna go ahead and dump all of this into my flour and salt. And now we're just gonna stir this and incorporate those ingredients. No kneading, this is what that dough looks like. We're gonna go ahead and cover this and we're gonna set this in a warm spot and let it double in size. My dough is doubled in bulk. I'm gonna take a little flour, I'm gonna sprinkle my working surface here. This dough is wet. Just trust me on this, okay? You're gonna turn this out in this bowl and you're gonna think you're crazy. Stick with me. Just gonna go ahead and turn all that dough. See how sticky that is? Don't worry. Turn all this dough out onto your floured surface here. I like to put a little bit of flour on the top of it. Sprinkle a little bit on my hands. Now we're just gonna work this dough with the flour that we have on our working surface, and we're just gonna form this into a ball. You're gonna wanna try to create a little bit of tension, so you just drag the dough back, make it into a ball. You're gonna put your ball of dough on a piece of parchment paper. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stick this dough right back in the bowl that I took it out of. Next step, take your Dutch oven. If you don't have a Dutch oven, use a cast iron pan with an oven-safe bowl that's safe to 500 degrees. You're gonna put this in your oven, you're gonna preheat the oven. You're gonna leave it in there until it's fully preheated, okay? Come back to me. Oven is almost done preheating. I'm just gonna go and score the top of my bread here, just using a very sharp knife and doing the best that I can. Dutch oven is preheated. Do me a favor, don't take your gloves off. Just leave them right on. Taking that bread out of the bowl and I'm putting it right into my pan. Lid back on. Turn your oven down to 450 degrees. You're gonna put this in the oven for 30 minutes. You're gonna set a timer. Once the timer goes off, go ahead, take the cover off and put it back in the oven for another 15. I'll be back when it's finished. There you have it, a beautiful loaf of artisan bread with 5 ingredients, 2.5 hours. What more could you want, right? All right, that's all I have for you tonight. We'll see you soon.